Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 260. Hope you're all doing great today as we're nearing the end of August. Say it isn't so. Well, hey, depending on where you're listening to this in the country, the kids may be already back to school, or it's around the corner. And with that in mind, we're going to kick off this week's Tech It Out with a chat about buying a laptop for the student in your home and what to look for. We'll be joined by ASUS, my favorite computer company, and my official partner on Tech It Out, for full transparency. Also on this show, Amazon will chat with us about Fire TV and what's new there. The short answer, a lot. And we're also going to learn this hour about a new Walking Dead game that's free to play on Facebook. It's called The Walking Dead Last Mile and has a really cool concept that I think you're going to like. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. All right, let's officially kick things off with an interview about back-to-school laptops. Well, it's back to school time, and while the kids might not be so happy, at the very least, there's some cutting-edge technology to help them ease back into the classroom. And when it comes to laptops, many will be used for school and play, of course, only after their homework is done, right? Well, I'm thrilled to have on the show Vernon Coutinho from ASUS, my favorite laptop brand. Vernon is Senior Director of North American Consumer Sales at ASUS North America. Nice to chat with you again, Vernon. How's your summer so far?
It's great, Mark. Thank you. Back on the road traveling again. So
awesome.
Things are getting back to normal, sort of.
Good to hear. Yeah, me too. Now, before we hear what's new for back to school, please tell us about ASUS. They've been around since '89. Isn't that right?
That's right. We've been in this business a long time, Mark. ASUS is a very innovative company. Taglines in search of incredible. We are known for our passion in delivering really awesome performance-based products with great design. What people might not realize is we're one of the top 3 consumer PC brands in the world. And we make everything from notebook, desktop, routers, motherboards, graphic cards, monitors, and the like. And of course, we are very popular in the gaming community. So if you have any gamer that you know, they more than likely would highly recommend ASUS products.
Yeah, they may know the brand as ROG or Republic of Gamers, but that is a sub-brand within the ASUS family. And yes, Vernon, the last sales report I read had ASUS as the number 3 laptop company in the world in terms of sales, which is fantastic. Congratulations. And by the way, I'm recording this interview right now on a ZenBook Flip S that I've had for almost 5 years. And I have to tell you, it works just as good today as it did back when I first booted it up. I kid you not. And speaking of laptops, Vernon, let's now walk through the different laptop brands under the ASUS umbrella. We'll get to ROG or Republic of Gamers a little bit later, but aside from that, there's 5 other brands: ZenBook, VivoBook, StudioBook, ExpertBook, and Chromebook. Where do you want to start? How do we explain to the listeners the differences between those brands?
Absolutely, Mark. We do have a different class of products for different usage. So let's start with the back to school or the elementary school students.
Sure.
So for them, I would highly recommend our Chromebook line as well as the VivoBook Go line. So if your school's using Chrome in the classroom, Chromebooks is very easy. All the assignments are on that, and it's they're designed for younger students. No viruses, everything is controlled, and you still have a great experience and a much more robust experience because you're connected with your teachers at school. You normally have a Chrome address.
Right.
If your school is on Windows, then you can also use a Windows 11s, and that's our VivoBook Go line. So that's kind of the entry point into a laptop. We have also our VivoBook line. So that's what we would call a youthful line of laptops. They are cutting edge design. They're more vibrant. They're also performance based. So this is what we would classify for mainstream users. So your elementary school, kind of higher end students, it's your general purpose laptop. It does a lot. It's also thin and light. We really focus on that design. They look really nice too. So this is not your 5-year-old laptop. These look really, really fantastic.
All right, got it. Chromebook runs on the Chrome OS, fast boot up times, they're lean, they're secure, and they're often more affordable. And as you suggested, they're often ideal for younger students and connected to, Google Classroom and all that. And then VivoBooks are Windows-powered PCs. They're fantastic sort of everyday PCs, colorful, lightweight, often powerful as well. So great for students of any age. And we should tell our listeners, Vernon, that for pricing, we'd encourage people to go to asus.com because often the stores, the retailers will often have a lower price. Could we continue now with ExpertBooks? I would assume this is more of a performance machine.
Yes, ExpertBooks is really designed for office use. They are more robust. They're also for businesses. They have other things on them like TPM.
And what's TPM, Vernon?
TPM is a Microsoft-created product that basically guarantees your reliability on your network.
Okay.
So the security is more robust on those laptops.
Understood. Yeah. Hence being more ideal for businesses. Got it.
Absolutely. If you move up from there, one of my favorite family of products is a ZenBook family. My daughter, who's in the fourth year university now, also uses this.
Well, congrats.
ZenBooks are actually designed as ultra compact and performance laptops. So these are higher laptops. Most of them, in fact, probably all of them are metal chassis. So they're very rugged, thin and light, as I said, and they have amazing screens. So if you're a student or someone on the go a lot, like you're traveling a lot on work, this is the laptop for you. They're thin, obviously. A lot of people don't understand that students travel a lot, especially I'm talking about university students. They use their laptops from classroom to classroom and go back and forth from the dorm, go back home or go back to university. So this is perfect for them. Very robust. Most of them are military grade laptops. That means they're drop tested, they're heat tested, spill proof tested. So if you're going to university and you want a 4-year robust laptop that looks fantastic, that is thin and light, has great screen and great battery life, ZenBook is probably the best for you.
Yeah, that's, again, is the one that I've been using for several years. And I'm often stopped at airports asking what it is because it's so thin. And they like the touchscreen. Some are convertible, so they can convert from a laptop to a tablet and back again by twisting the screen around. And we should also mention, Vernon, that the ZenBook family often has a second screen integrated around the keyboard itself. Can we explain that before we move on?
Yeah, so this is one of our innovative products where we've had a dual screen on the laptop. So right where your keyboard is, you also have a second screen. It's amazing if you're doing productivity. You can, for example, have your spreadsheet open on one screen. You can have a calculator on the other, or you can be typing notes on there and have Spotify on the other. So it's really like having two screens, just like you would have a second screen on your desk. This is a second screen, but it's right on the laptop. So you could be in classroom and then still have two screens and do two different things at the same time. It's amazing.
Sometimes it's integrated into the trackpad itself, and other times that second screen is just below the primary one.
Yes, that's right. The trackpad one can also double up as a numeric keypad. So if you have to enter numbers, that's an easy way to do it. And then if you have a full second screen, you can do everything your main screen can do on there.
Fantastic. We are chatting with Vernon Coutinho, Senior Director of North American Consumer Sales at ASUS North America, asus.com, to learn about this family of laptops they have. We've learned about the VivoBook and Chromebook, ZenBook, and ExpertBook. Let's now hear about StudioBooks, and then we'll end off on ROG laptops.
Yes, StudioBook is a new class of laptops that we introduced quite recently. We've realized that there's a ton of people that are into the creative space. So your YouTubers, your video editing, your graphic designers, they really need super powerful laptops and they have specific needs. For example, if you're doing Adobe and you want to edit your video, you need a little dial to stop your video at the exact same spot. So these are the things that those laptops are designed for. They are absolutely really powerful, less mobile. Obviously, they are still laptops. You can take them anywhere you would like. However, their main focus is performance.
Right.
So these are the really high-end laptops specifically designed for video editing, design, animation, and those kind of needs.
As we mentioned earlier, Vernon, there's also the gaming line of laptops, the ROG family. What's new there?
Oh, the ROG laptops. So if you have gamers, and I do have a couple in my family too.
Myself as well, yeah.
I'm sure we all know gamers. They are very passionate. So the Republic of Gamers, the laptops that we have is a really class-leading gaming laptops. If you have a gamer and you also are looking for something that's worth using a back-to-school time frame, you might want to consider the G series from the Republic of Gamers. These are thin and light gaming laptops. They actually don't look like gaming laptops, but they still have that performance. So it's still portable. Absolutely my favorite laptop. They have been reviewed by pretty much everyone and best in class in pretty much every single review. So if you're considering a gaming laptop, I would strongly suggest you look at the G14 or G15 lineup. It's available both online and at multiple retailers, especially Best Buy.
All right. So that's the G family. And then as we wrap up, Vernon, are there any other features worth looking into?
I think something that's really new this year is a bunch of laptops with OLED in them. So OLED screens, I'm sure most of you would know, You might have a phone that has OLED, or if you bought a new cutting edge TV, there's also OLED screens. And we've now introduced them to our family of laptops. So you would see that in VivoBook and ZenBook laptops. I would strongly recommend that if you're visiting a store to please have a look at OLED laptops. The screen, the brightness, the battery life on these laptops are absolutely amazing. So that's something that's brand new this year. Another new class of families this year, Mark, is Evo laptop. So this is an Intel branded name. What that really does is give you a designation that this laptop is really designed for the mobile user. It has the best screen, best battery life, the best reliability, and uses really high-end parts. If you're looking for a mobile laptop that has absolutely the best technology in it, look for the Evo designation on them. And we have a whole bunch of Evo laptops, both in our VivoBook family as well as in the ZenBook family.
Awesome. Yeah, that little sticker or badge on the corner of the laptop, or if you're on their website, it'll have that Evo tag that verifies that it checks all the boxes, right? Instant startup times, Wi-Fi 6 performance, multiple ports, fast processor, long battery life. Fantastic. Yeah, I often recommend Intel Evo. All right, ASUS.com for more info. Our guest has been Vernon Coutinho. Thank you so much for joining us, Vernon. Great to chat with you again, and hope your travels continue to go smoothly. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with Amazon to hear what's new with Fire TV. Stick with us. You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. It's one of the biggest consumer tech brands from one of, if not the biggest tech companies and online retailers. I'm referring to Amazon Fire TV from Amazon. And for a refresher on the brand and what's new for 2022, we're joined by Daniel Rausch. He's VP of Entertainment Devices and Services for Fire TV at Amazon. Welcome to the show, Daniel. How's your summer going so far?
Hey, Mark. Thanks so much for having me. It's going great. I think, people are out and about, traveling. We're getting back to summer as usual.
Yeah, a bit of normalcy, which is nice to see. So, hey, before we talk about specific products, please give us a Fire TV 101, if you will, a bit of a refresher.
Sure, happy to. I think at its core, the job of Fire TV is to make any television smarter. That's what we're all about. And that means a few things. That means helping customers, make the leap if they haven't already to streaming, or give them a better streaming option on a TV that needs to be updated. That also means putting content first for customers, getting content out of all those apps that customers have, and they're not exactly sure which show is where, which movie is where, and what they're entitled to watch, say, for free versus needing to pay for. So the Fire TV UI is all about getting that content out so customers can just surf across what's available to them. And I think the last thing is sort of, bringing the television into the world of the smart home with the deep integration with Alexa and all the other things that customers have around the home connected to the internet. They'll find great ways to connect their TV and the TV experience to those smart home devices.
Yeah.
Fire TV has sort of a product for every customer as well. So we have, our great streaming sticks start from $29.99 all the way up through deeply integrated Fire TV, in televisions, Toshiba and Insignia TVs, for example. Hisense TVs launched a bit earlier this year, and those come as Fire TVs right out of the box. So I think the full range of offers from sticks and our Fire TV Cube up through deeply integrated televisions is available for customers to choose.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a bit more about your TV partnerships, including what's new in a moment. But just anecdotally, I bought my 83-year-old mom an Amazon Fire TV enhanced Toshiba TV. So already built in, I had it set up so it automatically launches Amazon when she turns it on, and she finds it super intuitive. She loves having the captions turned on, and you can change the captions and all that for all the content that she watches, but super intuitive without breaking the bank as well. So it was perfect.
That's great.
Is it fair to say, Daniel, that Amazon Fire TV is probably best known for those sticks and cubes? And I'd love to also ask you about Luna cloud gaming, because there's also like e-readers and tablets and all that, but probably the streaming video services are most popular.
Yeah, happy to cover that, and I'll get to Luna as well. I would say we're probably best known for the sticks and cubes, as you say. We have a full lineup of those. We actually find that the majority of customers that buy our sticks and cubes are upgrading what came out of the box as a so-called smart TV. So it's a TV that might already be ready to do streaming, but customers might be wanting to upgrade the user experience to Fire TV. And so customers can choose from, a $29 stick was actually on sale for $12 at Prime Day, all the way up through a Fire TV Cube. That's a far-field voice-enabled cube. You can just ask Alexa to play whatever content you want from across the room, and she'll take care of everything from there. So we've got the full range of sticks and cubes. And then, of course, the integrations into the TV that it sounds like your mother's now enjoying as well. We do offer a full range of services on those, whether that's, our partners inside Amazon at Prime Video, Netflix, Disney Plus, everything you can imagine and every source that customers would want. And we're seeing customers want different types of experiences out of their TV too. It's not necessarily just for streaming, but we added that Luna game streaming option. That lets customers, with one simple subscription, subscribe to get hundreds of games that they can play per month without a costly console. So instead of buying hundreds or even thousands of dollars of computer equipment to play games, you can subscribe to Luna for a low price every month and game right on your Fire TV.
And again, you don't need a box. This is in the cloud, as they say. So all the processing power is done on your ends, on Amazon servers, and you can choose a game and within a few seconds play it with a controller as if you had a machine in front of you that you do not need to buy.
That's right. These are console quality games, PC, they're the kinds of games that someone would build a multi-$1,000 PC setup for.
Right.
My sons, have converted to gaming on Luna, and they each built their own PCs with hard-earned lawn mowing dollars. And, they find the experience simple, intuitive, and I certainly love that it doesn't break the bank.
Yeah, awesome. So you mentioned some of those TV brands earlier. I wanted to ask you about what's new. I understand. So you mentioned Hisense. I'm familiar with that brand, but there's an emerging brand that becoming absolutely huge, and it's Xiaomi, spelled Xiaomi. So I understand that there are some Xiaomi TVs that have Fire TV built in as well.
That's right. Yeah. And you say Xiaomi, I say Xiaomi.
Like show me the money.
Right.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
they are growing like gangbusters. It's actually one of the biggest names in consumer electronics globally. Yeah. I'm not sure if all of your listeners have heard of it, but they offer amazing, they sort of started on the phones, amazing capable phones that, come out of the box, and you'd imagine that they're maybe $1,000 and they're a few hundred. So that was really what the growth driver of their business was.
Yeah, I had them on my show last week to give us the skinny on all their solutions.
Yeah,
sure.
It's just amazing the success of that company. And we love finding partners that want to listen to customers and develop great products. So we have launched TVs with Xiaomi in Europe now. Customers there are loving them. They're, again, I think very value oriented. Here in the US, we launched Hisense TVs a few months ago with Fire TV built in. And, that's building on successes with, great brands like Toshiba and Pioneer, for example, here in the US. So we're really excited about the set of partners that are adopting Fire TV.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to continue chatting with Amazon about its Fire TV lineup, and in particular, for those who wear hearing aids, what features are available for them, the Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Daniel Rausch. He is Vice President of Entertainment Devices and Services for Fire TV at Amazon. Let's chat about those who wear hearing aids. Talk to us about the importance of ASHA support.
Yeah, ASHA stands for Audio Streaming for Hearing Aids. So, it's sort of intuitive. The National Institute on Deafness reports that 15% or almost 40 million Americans over 18 report some hearing loss. Wow. And nearly 30 million US adults could benefit from using hearing aids. This past spring, we partnered with Starkey to bring audio streaming for hearing aids to Fire TV Cube as the first of our devices to improve audio for hearing aids. And this lets a customer directly set up their hearing aids with Fire TV so that they can enjoy that stream. They can adjust the volume on their own. I have my father and mother who have reached the age where hearing aids really benefit them, and they love this integration. They were able to test it and let me know how great it was. And I think in particular, they love being able to tune to their own needs, which they're so used to with hearing aids.
All right. So again, that's ASHA or ASHA support, important to look for. Before we wrap up, and I wanted to hear a bit about Fire TV Auto, but before that, you mentioned Alexa earlier. This support in your devices, does it allow you to use your voice to ask for something to watch only, or does it also serve as like an Echo smart speaker where you can ask it weather, facts, control your smart home, all that kind of stuff?
Well, first of all, anything you can do with Alexa is available on your Fire TV. All those things you just mentioned and more are available, whether that's weather, you're looking for a certain fact, or you're looking to turn on your smart lights in the room or dim them for a movie. All that's available. Customers, of course, much of the time are using Alexa with Fire TV to find their favorite shows, movies, music, and more. Whatever content they're looking for, you can simply say, Alexa, play the next episode of Reacher, and you're into that content. So it's actually the sort of the fastest and easiest way to find the content you're looking for, or to get recommendations. You might say, play something on Netflix, for example, and Alexa would open the app and kick off the play something experience and get a great recommendation from a partner like that.
Wow, very cool. I don't think a lot of our listeners know that you can do all those other things, though, like make free phone calls, set timers, all that great stuff that you can do. Play games. I use my Echo smart speakers for that all the time. All right, let's now wrap up on something out of the home, and that's Fire TV Auto.
Yeah, I think with Fire TV, our goal is to entertain customers wherever they want to be entertained. And of course, customers would love to be more entertained when they're on a long trip. I know my kids would love to be better entertained in the car. So we partnered with Stellantis to introduce Fire TV for Auto with their lineup of Wagoneers and Grand Wagoneers. Since we've expanded, it's very popular with customers, to their Grand Cherokee and Chrysler Pacifica lines. Ford has built it into Expedition and Lincoln Navigator. And recently we had an integration we're so proud of with the back seat of BMWs. A beautiful, broad, cinematic screen. It's almost like driving around with the drive-in movie theater with you instead of driving to the drive-in. It's so beautiful in the back seat. And, I think customers love that they can choose whatever program they want, on whatever screen is in front of them. Not everybody has to watch the same thing. And as, automakers are increasingly adding screens to the car to entertain passengers, we're happy to be there with Fire TV.
Hey, Daniel, it's been great chatting with you. Daniel Rausch has been our guest. Is there a website you could recommend to learn more about Fire TV as a platform?
Yeah, Mark, it's been great to talk to you too. I really appreciate it. If customers are looking to find out more about Amazon Fire TV, they can go to the blog at amazonfiretv.blog. amazonfiretv.blog. That's it. Okay. Good to chat with you again, Daniel. Have a great rest of your summer. Thanks again. Thanks a lot. Enjoy yours as well.
You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. I'll tell you how you can reach me on social media if you've got any tech questions. I'll spell my name and all that and tell you where you can find me in a moment. But don't forget, still coming up on the show, we're going to learn all about The Walking Dead Last Mile. This is a completely free-to-play Facebook game, whether you're a fan of the show or not. I'm assuming that most players will be fans of the show. And what makes it unique? The word mile in Last Mile is a clue as to the genre of this game. It's an acronym, M-I-L-E. We're going to explain all of that in a couple of minutes from now when we chat with the developers of this brand new and free-to-play game on Facebook and Facebook Watch. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm on social media. If you want to, just drop by and say hi, let me know what you're up to today. If you've got tech questions, maybe you've got suggestions for upcoming guests for Tech It Out. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. And you can find me on any of those platforms. Again, it's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. I write a tech tip of the day. I link to videos that I host or TV appearances, radio and podcast interviews like the ones you've heard this hour. I link to articles that I write. There are polls, giveaways, all that kind of fun stuff. So hope to see you on social media. But I really do love interacting with listeners. So let me know what's on your mind, or if you've got any back to school tech questions, or what you could expect from Apple on September 7th when they have their big press event. iPhone 14s, Apple Watch 8. I can can give you all that kind of stuff, or what I predict what will be unveiled that day. All right. Now, on Tech It Out, you likely know that I cover cybersecurity quite a bit. This is a big concern today, not just for businesses, but regular consumers. And the irony is that how do we fight back against these cyber criminals when we may not be that tech savvy ourselves? Well, you need to rely on trusted brands to have your back, whether it's antivirus or anti-malware software, or trusting a company like Visa when you're buying things online or at retail. Did you know that online shoppers are 3 times more likely to enter an unfamiliar store if it displays a Visa logo? And customers are 5 times more likely to think a merchant is reputable. This is because Visa has invested billions over the years in fraud prevention, so you don't need to think twice about shopping at retail or online with your Visa card, nor should businesses, by the way, be concerned about secure payments. Visa is deploying advanced technology to ensure customer data is not vulnerable, no matter where the transactions take place. This includes tokens, pioneered by Visa, as one part of the solution, which reduces the risk of identity theft, because basically this technology replaces your cardholder info with a random alphanumeric code, so the merchant never sees your actual card number, yet ensures a fast transaction in the process. To learn more about Visa's work in protecting you and your purchases, visit visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. As I mentioned earlier, coming up next on Tech It Out, we're going to learn all about a brand new and free-to-play game on Facebook called The Walking Dead Last Mile, based on the popular TV series and comic books, graphic novels, and all that good stuff. Hey, did you hear last week the rumor that Amazon, speaking of which, they were our guest in the last block, they may be buying EA or Electronic Arts? That would be interesting. CNBC said no, but a USA Today report said they've got inside sources that they're cooking up an acquisition. Very exciting stuff. All right, so that has nothing to do with this Walking Dead game, so stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Are you a fan of The Walking Dead? You're not alone. Like the comic book series it's based on, the TV show is set in a post-apocalyptic world, of course, featuring survivors of a zombie apocalypse. There have also been several video games based on the franchise, including a new one we're going to learn about right now called The Walking Dead Last Mile. And the word mile, by the way, is an acronym, as we're going to hear about in a moment. We're joined by Jacob Novok. He's the CEO of a company called GenVid. Welcome back to the show, Jacob.
Thanks. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
I think we had you last on the show in, I want to say November or December of last year, talking about Pac-Man Community. With that in mind, before we talk about the new Walking Dead game, tell us about GenVid.
Sure. So GenVid is a company that creates Miles, or massively interactive live event. We both provide technologies and software, as well as publish our own Mile, lately with a lot of big partners. These massively interactive live events allow us to blend video and games so that you can both watch and play.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to explain a little bit more about MILE, which again is an acronym for a massively interactive live event. So talk to us at a high level what the Walking Dead game is all about.
Sure. So we are, first of all, canon to the comic books. These are some of the first new characters, some of the first new protagonists in the comic book world since the comics ended in 2019. And it's being worked on, the stories and everything are being written by Skybound, who are the creators of The Walking Dead.
Great.
We are set in Alaska for the first time in the series, and so we're going to be dealing with frozen walkers very soon, which is going to be an interesting experience. You start by creating your own survivor. You're going to be part of this world. But unlike a traditional Walking Dead game, or unlike a traditional Walking Dead TV or comic book experience, you're all sharing one experience, and the decisions that you make and the things that you do impact and affect everyone who is watching or working alongside you. So,
can you give us an example of that?
Sure. So there are decisions that you have to make, which character might survive or which character should get more help. And the decisions that you contribute toward, that you make, get tallied up with the rest of the audience, and the result of that becomes the storyline. There is no reset button. There is no second chance. There is only one story moving forward.
Okay, so hypothetically, you're locked inside of this compound and you're setting up some defenses against these zombies. two survivors approach you. One is a woman who is asking you to let her in. Another is a guy who also seeking shelter, and he's got some weapons, and you may need to decide if you only have room for one, which one?
Yes, the decisions that you're going to make are permanent.
Wow.
There is no going back.
And because we're talking about a video game here, we'll get to the platform in a moment, which also makes this a bit more unique than other Walking Dead games. Is this an action game primarily? Is it puzzle solving? What genre is it?
It's primarily puzzle solving and interactive video. We needed it to be very casual because of the platform that we're on. But also, we wanted it to be more about your engagement than skill. In other words, you're helping to decide the story in The Walking Dead. And if you were just really, really good at video games and it was about who's the best shooter, then only the best people at shooting would be able to impact the story. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make it a lot more casual and accessible.
And when you say it mixes gameplay with video, do you mean actors, who are pretending to be walkers or survivors? I
mean in-engine. So, for example, we have voice actors. We have motion capture actors, but the characters in the video streams are built inside of the Unity engine. And you will be able to see them talking and making decisions and saying things that are impacted by what the audience has been suggesting or asking them to do.
Understood. What's the perspective? Is it top down? Is it first person perspective?
You will be able to jump around from different locations, and depending on the location, the camera angle will change. We have a travel activity, we call it, that allows you to join a group of other survivors and help them stab or shoot walkers, and half of the time they basically die because it's the world of The Walking Dead, and that one can be over the shoulder or isometric, and in other ones you're in a fishing stream and you're just kind of watching the water and you're able to fish over it. So it really depends on where in the world you are at any given point in time.
Got it. And just to be clear, isometric is sort of this top-down angled view of the world. You might think of a game like Diablo as an example. For those who are listening who are gamers, just want to bring everybody up to speed. And speaking of which, not to flog a dead horse or a dead walker or undead walker, but can you tell us a bit more about this MILE acronym, a massively interactive live event? You're playing this communally with others?
Correct. This is the core differentiation from other products. First of all, everything is a video stream. So think of it more like interactive television than you would a traditional video game where you're mostly running around and shooting. And this is important because it allows for us to get it to anywhere that people can access video, which is to say we have large user bases in India and Pakistan and Mexico and Brazil. And they're often playing on Android devices. And they're able to play at the same fidelity that you're able to play on your desktop at home, because everything is done over video in a combination of interactive overlay. Video scales really, really well, which means we could have 1 million people watching a video stream interacting back into it, and we don't have to shard it. Sharding is video game speak for dividing you into many, many different servers. So everybody is impacting one simulation, is making a single set of decisions, and this is radically different than what a traditional video game experience is like.
Yeah, that's really cool. We're going to learn more about The Walking Dead Last Mile when we return, what makes it unique as a game, how you play it on Facebook. And again, it's completely free to play. So more when we return with GenVid and The Walking Dead The Last Mile. You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube to say hi. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Jacob Navok. He's CEO of GenVid. Those are the folks behind a new game called The Walking Dead Last Mile. Just before the break, Jacob, you were talking to us about how you can have simultaneous players at the same time, interacting with content, yet giving a different experience. Yeah, I find the technology behind this kind of game, this engine, is very fascinating and something that most people don't know about. They enjoy the entertainment for what it is, but they don't know how difficult it is for you to pull something like that off, especially on a global scale. And I understand it's playable on the Facebook gaming platform. Talk to us about that and what devices are supported. You already hinted at mobile devices and desktop, but talk to us about Facebook gaming.
So Facebook gaming is their instantly accessible gaming platform that basically works anywhere that the Facebook app or website works. So if you go to facebook.com/instant games, or if you open up your Facebook app on your phone and go to the games tab, there's a whole selection of different, usually pretty simple to play and casual products there. That's where Zynga also got its start. But in our case, we're actually very high fidelity. So you can see really nice graphics because everything is done via video stream rather than rendering locally. The platform is available basically on every device. So it works on Android, it works on iPhone, and it works on your desktop. Mac, PC, it doesn't really matter because, again, it's all video. And it uses the same video streaming tech that Facebook uses for Instagram Reels, for Facebook live streaming. It works at a very global scale.
That's pretty cool that you've got this built-in audience of potentially billions with a B,
yes,
because of how big Facebook is compared to making a game for, Xbox or Oculus or MetaQuest, like VR headsets, that kind of thing. This is potentially just a massive audience base.
Yeah, it's really huge. And we've seen that on Pac-Man, which, you and I spoke about at the tail end of last year, but we're getting close to 8 million players on Pac-Man.
Before we wrap up, obviously The Walking Dead is a mature franchise. There's, violence and gore and things like that. Does the game contain mature content?
Yes, there is actually quite a bit of cursing and blood. So it is an 18-plus game on the Facebook platform. If you are younger than 18, you won't be able to even see it.
Yeah.
It won't be accessible to you.
Yeah, kids younger than 18 aren't on Facebook anyways, so. And then finally, I'm assuming because it's a Facebook game, there's no cost to play.
It's completely free. There's no microtransactions or anything of the sort. This is a Facebook Watch exclusive. So if you're familiar with their TV series that are also available for free for users of their platform, like Red Table Talk, this is just alongside all of those, but it happens to be interactive.
Okay. It's called The Walking Dead Last Mile. And to get going, you just go to your Facebook app on your mobile phone or tablet and tap games, or you can go to facebook.com/instant games.
Yes, correct.
All right. Jacob, great chatting with you again. I wish you much luck and success on this as you've enjoyed with Pac-Man Community.
Thank you very much, Mark.
You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. A huge thank you to the title sponsor of this program, ASUS. They were also my guest this week, chatting about back-to-school laptops. We had Vernon Coutinho on off the top of the program, followed by Amazon to talk Fire TV. And then just in this block, in the last one, we had Facebook Gaming with Jacob Navoke from GenVid to talk with us about The Walking Dead Last Mile. But back to ASUS, they do create technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that does include its line of award-winning laptops, as well as desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm actually recording this Tech It Out show every week on an ASUS laptop that's about 5 years old. You can get a lot of life out of that laptop. You don't want to have buyer's remorse by buying something that's underpowered or low in storage, only to have to replace it a year or so down the road. You do want to do your homework and pick a brand, a partner that you can trust. And I love my ASUS Flip S laptop. It's actually one of those laptops that converts into a tablet and back again. So if I feel like reading a book, I just bend back the screen. The keyboard is then disabled, and then I can kick back with my feet up on the coffee table and then use my fingertip to flip through books I love reading, or I play games using my fingertip or flick through photos. And then when I need to get back to work, I open up the keyboard again, put it down on a desk or table or on my lap, and then start typing away. And it's super thin. I don't even feel it in my backpack. So love ASUS laptops. And speaking of computers, before we wrap up another episode of Tech It Out, I do just want to remind you to remember to back up your important information on a regular basis, just in case, heaven forbid, your laptop is stolen or you leave it in a coffee shop or on an airplane. Make sure you've got all your information backed up. I always trust SanDisk USB drives, these tiny little keychain size drives that reliably hold all your files on there. You can put a password on it just in case your keys are lost, but I keep it plugged into my laptop all the time and I use that as backup. Something offline as well. I like like the cloud, but I like having offline storage too. SanDisk.com, they're as low as $9.99 for a USB-C drive on one end and a USB-A on the other end, so check it out. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into Tech It Out this hour. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Reach out online if you like. Mark Saltzman, Mark with the C, Saltzman with the Z, and I'll talk with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Be well, everyone. Ciao.